Shadow.
Are you done with your review of Aliens?
Yes, I'm done with my review.
Good. Because I got a surprise for you too. The main surprise this time.
So what's the surprise? Oh boy. Chucky.
And since you already reviewed the first two Child's Play movies, that I'm disappointed in you, you owe me a review of Child's Play 3.
Okay, well, I did the review of the first Child's Play movie 2 years ago, and I did Child's Play a couple months ago too. You want to review Child's Play 3?
That's what I want.
Hey guys, this is P.M.R.Bonez88, and today for my next horror slasher movie review is Child's Play 3. Part 3 came out in theaters in the late summer of 1991. Executive producer David Kirschner returned to produce this third Child's Play film, and the star of it, Brad Dourif, returned for the third time to voice as none other than the notorious strangler slash dog killer, Chucky.
Wait a minute, the notorious strangler? I thought he was the notorious slasher.
Well, yes, Chucky is the notorious strangler slash dog killer. Every single killer has a motive, man.
Such as...
Okay, such as Leatherface is the Chainsaw Massacre, Freddy is the Dream Demon Killer, Jason is the Notorious Massacre. So it's the same thing like Leatherface, but the only difference is he's not carrying around with a chainsaw. Most of the time Jason is carrying around is his machete or any other weapons that he used. Michael Myers is the Boogeyman Killer, and Chucky is the Notorious slash Dog Killer. You get it now?
Alright. Okay, I get it, Bones. You don't have to slap it in my face.
Well, you asked.
Yeah, well, I get it now.
So Child's Play 3 was an okay, well, decent, not too bad for a sequel. And it was also my second favorite out of the Child's Play franchises. Part 3 was quite darker than the second film, but not too suspenseful or mysterious than the first film. Originally, they're going to add the subtitle of Look Who's Stalking, and it would have been called Child's Play 3, Look Who's Stalking. It was only shown in the theatrical trailer and in the movie poster. But from the movie itself, they just took away that subtitle and just left it as just Child's Play 3. Because Child's Play 2 didn't have a subtitle, so what was the point? And it also stars Justin Whalen and Perry Reeves. Justin Whalen was a familiar actor because I only seen him in 2 movies such as Suzy Q and Super Capers. So this movie takes place 8 years after from part 2. Eventually the good guy factory was shut down for so many years, and what was left of it was only Chucky's body, all waxed and headless. The crane just took the body down, and then blood started dripping down and went into the bottle of wax, turned and just started making a whole new Chucky good guy doll body. So he's back again. Okay. I guess he doesn't improve. But you gotta live with it, Chucky. So anyways, the CEO of the Good Guy Incorporation just want to forget about Andy's paranoia of the good guy doll which was possessed by Chucky. They still deny of what happened, and they just think that Andy was crazy, including with his mother. Especially with the president of the CEO that returned from part 2. He doesn't even care either.
Dick move there, pal. He's the first one to go.
Yep, I agree. So during that night, the president of CEO was all alone with all these toys, and the good guy doll, aka Chucky, was alive and out of the box. And the one big line ever that was so awesome And yes, he makes a couple of puns too. But unlike Freddy, this took the cake.
Don't fuck with the Chuck!
That was the greatest line ever. So right after Chucky killed the president CEO, he continues to go after Andy, in which now that Andy is finally all grown up into a 16 or 17-year-old teenager.
Let's not forget the deleted scenes from the third film. Some of them were necessary, but they were mostly unnecessary. But for the character Andy Barclay, which was now played by Justin Whalen, his performance was, not too bad. We didn't show expressions, not too much emotion for this character. Unlike Alex Vincent, though I wish he did return, and they probably had to alternate the storyline of this third film. What is with all these sequels fast-forwarding to future events? That is just pointless. They did the same thing to all the Friday the 13th franchises, and their timeline is much more fucked up.
They didn't want to have Andy move into one foster home to another. They only did for part 2. They didn't want to show it too many because it would bore the audience. So what they had was the idea of why not put Andy into a military school. They had the right idea. It felt like it wasn't a Child's Play movie. It felt like it was another Full Metal Jacket movie, except you have Chucky in it. Practically part 3 is just the exact same thing. Chucky goes after Andy so he could transfer his soul into Andy's body. Didn't he just did that before in part 2? Because last time when he tried to transfer his soul from the doll's body into Andy's, it didn't work. So how do we know for sure it will work again? Chucky mailed himself to the military school, and except it was mistaken by a little boy named Tyler, he took the good guy doll, and Chucky just burst out of the box, scaring Tyler to death. And Chucky had the idea of telling his little secret, and now he's got a new body, so why not just transfer his soul to Tyler's body instead? There were a couple of funny scenes in this film, especially from one scene that really made me laugh, where Chucky just fell into the garbage truck and he just yelled out, "Shit!" At this point, I just burst out laughing. That was pretty funny, I have to admit. Child's Play 3 started to become a bit of a comedy, but it was much more of a horror film and less of a comedy film. The kills were so creative. That I loved, except for one that where he sliced the guy's neck and... Wait a minute. I know that hair barber. Is that? Oh shit! I know who that is. Hey, don't you recognize him?
No.
It's him, Andrew Robertson. The guy that played Christy's father from the first Hellraiser movie.
I'm sorry there, Bones, but this guy doesn't ring a bell to me. I'm sorry.
It is him. Just imagine him taken away with the mustache and you look at him with a clean shave.
That's the guy from Hellraiser.
I told ya!
Well, I'll be a son of a bitch. It is him. Ha! I never knew.
So, almost to the end of this film, we see Chucky still going after Tyler, and Andy and De Silva are going after Chucky as well. Oh yeah, speaking of De Silva, it's also Andy's love interest. At first they start out as friends, and then all of a sudden during the camping scene, they start to become more than friends. How touchy that those two barely know each other, and then all of a sudden they just start kissing. They went out from the military to the amusement park. So now this is where the all chasing and kill begins up until the last second, which was the amusement park. Now I can see why they had the idea of bringing Chucky in the Universal Halloween Horror Night Park. You know, there were a few scenes that was kind of ridiculous, and there was another scene that where some weird mannequin sliced Chucky's face with a fake scythe, and the blood and his half face just popped flying out. I don't understand. Is that scythe real, or did they just some added razor sharp aluminum foil? That was just... what? And up to where Tyler tries to get away from Chucky and goes way up top with all the mountain of skulls, and then he got knocked out by a fake doll pterodactyl monster. And then Chucky starts doing the chant to transfer his soul into Tyler's body. He did the chant, and he repeats the same chant over and over again. At that point, that chant should have worked. His soul wouldn't transfer into Tyler's body. He didn't have to do the same thing over and over, and it was starting to get ridiculous. It would have been too late, so Tyler would have been Chucky, and he would have started killing Andy, and Andy would have had no choice but to kill Tyler and throw him down into the fan. So, how many times did he have to do that chant? Like 5 or 6 times? And after Andy finally shoots right in the chest to stop the chant, at that point where Chucky starts strangling Andy, almost killing the both of them, Andy uses his pocket knife, chop off his arm, knocked him down into the fan. That was pretty cool, just to end Chucky just killing him off into the fan. They could have done it a little better. Because of all the deaths in the first 2 films, that Chucky got burned and then he came back and he got shot right in the heart. And then part 2 where he got boiled full of plastic wax blobs and then his head just exploded. And now in the 3rd film he gets chopped up into itty bitty little pieces into the big fan and just blows up for no other reason. So what, Chucky is a time bomb or something? The ending was kind of weird and I wish they could have done it better. So after done talking about this film, it's an okay film, and like I said, it's a decent horror film. But only thing that really disappointed me were due to some puns that Chucky used. Some were really unnecessary, but most of the time they were necessary. It was a lot better than Nightmare 5 where Freddy has been using all these puns a lot lately. And the kills were creative, except for the other scene where he tries to take on the general, but eventually the general got a heart attack, and in other words, he just wound up killing himself. For Brad Dourif, returning to play as Chucky was great, and Justin Whalen, he playing as Andy Barclay, a teenager, he wasn't too bad, and he was a good actor, and I only wish he could have done more films after from Child's Play 3. He didn't make any too much big films. I wish he did, but eventually he didn't. And it's my, once again, second favorite. So just to rate this film, for Child's Play 3, I would have to give it a 7.2 out of 10, which equals a 72%, so the grade would be a C-.
Child's Play 3 could have been better, but for my rate and my grade, I would have to give Child's Play 3 7 out of 10 equals 70%, so the grade is a C-.
Part 3 was more enjoyable, and it was really darker. Even with the music, that was very darker and twisted as well. But only they couldn't make it better. They couldn't make it much more serious than the first 2 were. And it would have been a Child's Play related. But the thing was, it felt like it was just a military movie, not like a Child's Play movie. I know they were trying to make it different and stepping the directions they were taking, and I have this movie on Blu-ray and DVD. And this is P.M.R.Bonez88 signing off. His saying is, peace!
Presto, you're dead.
Wow. Feels so good to be back in my own room. Yeah, I like Dark Shadow Space, but it was really... What is up?
Hello, Bones.
Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Well, good.
The next time, don't you ever do that to me again. I'm just kidding with you. Or am I?
Don't worry about it.
Well, luckily I transported you back in one piece. You didn't have to shoot at my xenomorph dogs.
I didn't shoot them on purpose. I just shot them right in the arm and one of them just scratched my arm.
Well, Parry, when I say fire a warning shot, I mean either on the floor or on the ceiling or on the wall.
You're glad I'm still alive in one piece.
Yeah, well, just don't forget about our third season of our Halloween horror movie review.
Wait, what do you mean our third season of Halloween horror movie review?
It's gonna be ours now. You did the first two couple years back.
Oh yes, that's right. If you're watching this, hold on. If you're watching this, folks, my third season of Halloween horror movie review will be coming back in October. So you'll all be looking forward to it. And of course, Dark Shadow will be the guest star again.
And I'm also hearing that you're going to Comic-Con New York City without me? How dare you?
Well, I'll see you when I come back. Peace, folks.
Well, Bones doesn't know it yet. But since he's going to New York City Comic-Con with his friends, I guess I could review just one movie for the Halloween Horror Movie Review Part 3. It won't hurt to review a movie, right? See you all in October.